Okay, so you may notice this video is a little different than normal. Usually I have an intro at the beginning. This time I'm not. This is my second time recording this video. For some reason, I don't know why, something went wrong in the encoding process with when I uploaded this the first time. Just sort of stalled like a little bit into it. So, and I got rid of all the files before I uploaded it. So, was kind of screwed that way, so I gotta refilm this. But it's no big deal. So this one will just there won't be a beginning, it won't be a intro, and there won't be an outro, But we'll do what we can do, right? So this is my haul list for January and February. I'm just gonna get into it. Start off with the DVDs, then go into the Blu-rays. So first up, we got Bigfoot Country. This is I've heard a lot of interesting things about this, but I haven't actually watched it yet. I've heard people say it's actually pretty good, so I'm looking forward to seeing that. And it was pretty cheap too. I think that was like $8.99, something pretty good price. Uh, Next up is Bone Sickness. Um, I got this because it's from Unearthed Films. I love Unearthed Films. I try to pick up if I see an Unearthed release somewhere. I tend to pick it up. This particular one isn't great. The cover looks just plain awesome, but the movie itself is really, really low budget, and it really shows its budget, which is a shame. It's kind of fun, but this is something that you know it's almost more of like a proof of concept. Like you do this, it's like this is kind of what I want to go with, and then you get someone to finance you a decent amount, and then you make something good. But I applaud the effort. But yeah. Okay, now we're on to the Blu-rays. So we got Jeepers Creepers 3. Uh, yeah, this wasn't very good. Out of all the Jeepers Creepers movies, it is the weakest. You know, um, yeah. But, it is what it is, right? So there you go. Next up, we got Batman Gotham by Gaslight. I really enjoyed this, actually. I'd never read the Gotham by Gaslight comic, so I was coming into this completely blind. I dug it quite a bit, actually. It was a neat idea. So yeah, pretty good stuff. Next up, this is a Horror Pack limited edition, and that's Plank Face. I love that cover. I really do. Um, I haven't watched it yet, but it's one I'm looking forward to seeing, definitely. Then we got It. Still, I still say it. I think this is the best movie of 2017. Take that for what you will. I love it, honestly. Then there's Blade Runner 2049. A really good flick. I can see why people didn't go to see it in the theater. It's just really long. Um, but honestly, it could have done with a shorter cut. It could have done with like an hour and a half long cut for the theaters, and then the 3 hour cut be a director's cut, and I think it would have done fine. But good flick though. Next up is Hellraiser Judgment. As far as I'm concerned, this is the best Hellraiser movie since Part 3. Not everyone will agree with me, but I really dug it. And honestly, I didn't even really miss Doug Bradley. Which is saying something when you can pull that off. Okay, next is Happy Death Day. This is one I was gonna see in the theater, but I for whatever reason, I just never got around to it, and I really regret not seeing this in the theater because I really enjoyed that. That was a really fun, good little like slasher type flick, slasher, you know, time travel type thing. Good stuff though. Then we got Hell Night. Hell Night is interesting because it's a good movie, but unfortunately they did the best they could with this transfer. It's a 4K scan, but it's just a shame they didn't have better material to work with. You know, it's not the greatest picture in the world, but as long as you know that going in, it's not that bad. I got Assault on Precinct 13, a collector's edition. I actually got this on John Carpenter's birthday. They Scream Factory were having a sale, 50% off. So I picked this up for like $10. It was definitely worth it. It's one I've been meaning to pick up. I've always been a fan of it, but just never got around to buying the Blu-ray. So I finally did it. Next is 47 Meters Down. This is a very underrated underwater horror movie. Really and truly. I saw it in the theaters and I just loved it. I wish this movie would get more love than it does. But yeah. Next is another horror pack limited edition, and that's Dead Hooker in a Trunk. This is the first film by the Soska sisters. Love the Soska sisters. Everything they do is good, honestly. Yeah, so I haven't got around to watching it yet, but another one I'm really looking forward to watching. Okay, next is Deep Star 6. This is actually the Spanish Blu-ray, as you can see, Profundidad 6. And I've got the Spanish cover on the inside. Just whipped up a quick custom cover for the front, just because I don't speak Spanish. I'd like it in English, so there we go. Good stuff, really cheap, about €6. So like what, $12 at the most, American and Canadian. Good stuff, really good movie. Next, also from Spain, is Fright Night Part 2. Again, like I said, this is a Spanish release, so got a custom cover on it. There's the original under there. That's kind of cool artwork, and it matches the first movie, but I just kind of have something with that cover. I've always kind of liked it, so, I decided to go with that. Yeah, so, next up, this is in a custom case. This is the Friday the 13th box set. It's the 8-disc, like $30. Honestly, I had parts like 1 to 6 anyway. I just needed 7 and 8. But honestly, trying to find those on like the aftermarket, if you will, they were crazy expensive. So when this came out, I just thought, screw it, buy that, sell off the old ones. So that's what I've done. I don't like the case it came in, hence the custom. What's great about these cases also is this holds literally everything. It's got, Jason X, Jason Goes to Hell. I got everything in here. Even Freddy vs. Jason and the remake as well. It's like it's got everything. So I love cases like this where you can fit a ton of stuff into a small case. Real fun stuff. Next is another horror pack limited edition. This is Volumes of Blood horror stories. This is complete brain fart. An anthology movie. I don't know why I forgot the word anthology, but a pretty good little flick, honestly. I was really surprised by how much I enjoyed it. It's 118 minutes too, so it's essentially, it's 2 hours long, and it's essentially like an indie flick, really. I mean, it's like no big names in or anything. Really good stuff. If you get a chance, that's definitely one to pick up. Next is Leatherface. A lot of people really hated this movie. I actually kind of liked it. My main thing with it was, it's not a Texas Chainsaw movie. This is a good introduction of a serial killer movie, but it's not Leatherface. If honestly, if it had been anyone else, you could have done any other, like, you could have invented a whole new serial killer with this backstory, and it would have worked, and people would have liked it and everything. But, there's a certain expectation when you put the name Texas Chainsaw Massacre on something. You know, and unfortunately, you know, it doesn't live up to that, but it's still a pretty solid flick, honestly. Okay, this is another one from Horror Pack. This is A Brush with Death and A Harvest of Fear. This is a double feature. Haven't watched either of these yet, but they're like apparently independent movies. So, well, they could be kind of fun, you know. I'm actually looking forward to that. Then we got Tag. This is a Japanese movie by Sion Sono. He's the guy that did Suicide Circle or Suicide Club, depending on which version you have. Just a different name, same movie. It's a really interesting movie. I compare this almost to like it's a cross between like Evil Dead, like hell Groundhog's Day, like Donnie Darko, and like all this other. It's like just all this stuff just mixed together, but it actually works. It'll confuse the hell out of you probably, but it's a really enjoyable movie. This is the UK Blu-ray, which unfortunately is locked Region B. I think this is either supposed to have or get a US and Canadian release. I don't know. I've never been able to find anything about it, but it's definitely worth seeing. Yeah. And last up, just got this the other day. This is Attack on Titan Season 2. I really dug the first season. I could have watched it on Crunchyroll, the second season, but honestly, I'm kind of weird that way. I get this thing where like the first season, if I see on DVD or Blu-ray or whatever, I want to see the second season on DVD or Blu-ray. I don't want to watch it on TV. I don't know. Maybe I'm just weird. I don't know, but yeah. So I'm looking forward to watching that. Yeah. So there we go. That's this re-recording of this video. Hopefully this one works and you don't get some jumbled up thing like we had before. Also, down below in the description, got my Patreon link and my merch shop link. If you feel like helping out the channel, it'd be greatly appreciated. You know, every little bit helps. Yeah, so... Oh, also, coming up this Sunday, for Sci-Fi Sunday, I'm reviewing Deep Star 6. I actually recorded the video for that last week, but again, something went wrong in the encode, and it was crap. I had to re-record it again. That's actually starting to bother me a little bit. So I missed out last week, but it's going to be up on Sunday. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So that's it for now. See you next time.